107.1 WJBB, Rude Awakening, Tuesday morning. Special guest in the studio. Love the name, John Winstanley. Blake, why don't you do the honors?
I like your accent.
Where's our tea?
Oh, a spot of tea this morning?
A
Would be
spot
lovely,
of
wouldn't
tea?
it? Some scone. Love some tea.
No, John Winstanley is from FortSafety, and you have a very powerful story, but your main focus now is to protect children on the internet.
That's right. Yes. Good morning, WJBB Nation.
Hello.
Whoop, whoop.
Raise the roof.
Raise the roof. Yes. Good morning. I'm John Winstanley of FortSafety. I'm a retired civil engineer who started this thing called FortSafety. We're a nonprofit, an educational nonprofit that wants to protect kids and strengthen families online. Back in 2012, there was a lot of stuff going on, and I just saw all these kids, cyberbullying and seeing all this content, and no one was talking about it. And today, there isn't a school anywhere that's not dealing with the ramifications of cyberbullying and naughty content on the internet, and these kids are struggling. My own son was shown some pretty bad stuff when he was 9, and that was 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago when they had the flip phones. So
it's hard to protect kids from the content on the internet.
Right.
Like when we were kids growing up, we watched a lot of television, and it sort of became the babysitter for our parents.
Right.
Go watch the television.
Right.
And now the phone has sort of taken the place of television.
correct. And what we say in our events, we got these internet safety proverbs that we teach in our events, and our events are for parents with kids, parents without kids, for the kids themselves. We vary it across the spectrum, but we teach these internet safety proverbs, and I think number 3 is the irony that the solution to all this technology isn't necessarily more technology. It's these common sense, practical habits that we just seem to have forgotten over the years. Common sense being, don't let your kid take the phones into the bedrooms at night, because I always say that one-on-one, kid versus internet, the internet's always going to lose.
Oh, absolutely.
You're giving the kids access to 6.5 billion people, and you don't want to know what they have in mind. This is going to be bad on radio, but just imagine I have in one hand a fluffy teddy bear, another hand a chainsaw. I do this in my events, and I say the internet is a tool, not a toy. A toy, the teddy bear, I can give to your child. They can play with it, no problems. You can walk away, great. A tool, on the other hand, very useful tool, but I'm not going to give that dangerous tool to a child unless I've taught them how to use it, warn them about their dangers. Even then, when I give it the tool, I'm going to hover like a helicopter parent and make sure they use that tool correctly before I feel like I can step away. And that's exactly what the internet is. It's an incredible tool. Great for communication, lots of, you can listen to radio on the internet.
You can learn things
exactly
on the internet.
But it's got a very dangerous side to it. And I think that's the part that we forget.
And so how do you go about teaching parents how to protect their kids? Do you have an app? Do you just public speak? Tell us how you do that.
Yeah, so we teach the parents and the kids these internet safety habits. But we also, one of them is, it's not a techie. Anybody can learn these. That's the thing. It's not a, swipe right, install this kind of a presentation. These are just common sense tools, but part of it, we give resources, and our website, fortsafety.com/resources, we've got some of those listed. But it's very intimidating for parents these days. There's so many different resources. Some work with Apple, some don't. Some work on desktop, some don't. So we've kind of taken these resources, have pre-vetted them for you, but there are apps that you need to go on. I mean, when you buy a new computer, you put a virus software in your computer automatically. But don't give your child complete unfiltered access to the internet. We're seeing kids as young as 5 or 6 that are just grappling with what they've seen, and
it's hard to think that, or even imagine that a child of 5 years old even has access to a phone.
Right. But we're seeing that, and parents out there can tell me they're probably getting requests from their elementary school kids
Because every other kid has a phone.
Right.
Daddy, I want a phone too.
Right, and that's the other internet safety thing. You can do everything right by your kid. All these recommendations, all these tactics, and there's still going to be a kid on the school bus or another kid that's going to show them. So another end is you cannot prevent it. You can only prepare your kids. So one of the things is teaching. We're the first generation of parents that absolutely have forced to teach our kids about relationships and marriage and all that at a very, very young age, because they're hearing it, they're seeing it on the playgrounds because of the information that we're getting on the phones. So, but I don't want my mission. I'm wearing a big smiley face T-shirt today. I want the events to be fun. No one wants to be come to an event and just get all this bad news. So we bring DJs in. We make it fun. I've got this coy, cheesy English humor that I try to wind into everything.
So does Root. He's made a career of it.
Hey, it helps. It pays the bills.
Yeah. And the difference in it, we have a team of speakers that we use for middle school and
Is that
high
typically
school.
where you go into the schools?
We are focusing on the schools, yes. Schools, we could talk to PTAs, churches, businesses. I mean, the amount of time that businesses are losing because their employees are scrolling through Instagram. It's bringing awareness, and we're very excited right now. This is kind of why I'm wearing this happy T-shirt. We're also working on a new presentation for bullying, cyberbullying. There isn't a school, middle school, high school, and it's not. It's called Life Hacks, and it's just these really neat golden nuggets of truth that I think the kids just need to hear about confidence and what you do when you're bullying. The power of a bully's words isn't the words, it's the power that we give those words, and it's very different. It's not technical anymore. It's more of an uplifting speech, and we're really excited to be presenting that to the local schools and churches to equip their kids.
If local schools or churches would like to book you to come in and speak, how would they do that?
They go to FortSafety.com.
Slow that down a little bit.
Sure.
What is it?
I'm sorry. It's Fort.
FORT
Safety, all one word,
okay.
.com.
FortSafety.com. Okay.
And we are a nonprofit. We also do individual counseling if needed. People come to us, youth pastors come to us. Hey, I have a couple kids that need help. What do you recommend? We like to be resources for schools. We're on advisory boards in Gwinnett County, so it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
They tell us what they need, and we vice versa.
Was there a particular incident in your life that inspired this?
Yeah. 2012. I have two children. The youngest was Laura. She struggled with mitochondrial disorder, and she fought that disease for 7 years. And her funeral was on Easter Sunday. I remember the day. We told everyone to wear pink because that was her favorite color. And her wheelchair was on stage empty because she didn't need it anymore. And the place was packed. And, I tell people that Laura passed away, but that's not because I'm sad about it. That moment gave me that, as a father, a proud, stuck my chest out, because I looked around at the standing room only, 500 people. This girl never said a word in her life.
Wow.
And she had impacted so many people's lives with her. Her doctors from Scottish Rite came all the way out to Loganville, therapists, teachers, school bus drivers. I found out that there was a young high school lady in that audience that day who was so inspired that she's now getting her doctorate in physical therapy. So I decided when I saw that if my daughter, who couldn't speak a word in her life, could change so many people's lives, why couldn't I, with a voice, do the same? And that's where the nugget for FortSafety came along. And I'm amazed because other people joined me. So now we have a board of directors, and so far we've impacted over 9,000 people.
Well, thank you for the work you're doing.
Thank you for having me on.
And thanks for dropping by. 107.1 WJBB. Blake, why don't you wrap it up? Give them the website, and we can thank our guest one more time.
If you need information on how you can protect your children from the internet, and it's not just what you see on Google and Yahoo, there's a whole dark web out there you need to be aware of and protect your children. John Winstanley, we thank you. FortSafety.com. FortSafety.com. He'll come to your church, your school, and just talk to you about how you can protect your kids. Go to the resources tab on the website and learn more.
All right, 107.1 WJBB. We've still got stupid criminals to come. You just can't escape them.